MEGADOC trailer breakdown, behind the scenes of Megalopolis. This new trailer promises us the modern Hearts of Darkness we've been waiting for. Today we're diving deep into the just-released trailer for MEGADOC, Mike Figgis' behind-the-scenes documentary about Francis Ford Coppola's ambitious and controversial Megalopolis. This is being positioned as the modern equivalent of Hearts of Darkness, that legendary documentary about Apocalypse Now's troubled production. But does this trailer give us the insight we expect, or will we need the full documentary to understand the complete story? Let me break down what we're seeing plan by plan. The trailer opens with Coppola himself, and immediately the framing tells us everything. We see him in what appears to be a medium close-up, slightly off-center, not the traditional authoritative director shot we might expect. The lighting is natural, almost documentary raw, which Mike Figgis clearly chose to strip away any Hollywood glamour. This isn't a polished EPK piece. Then we hear Coppola say something that stops you in your tracks. "I'm confronting chaos." The sound design here is deliberate. His voice cuts through cleanly while we can sense the ambient production noise underneath. That layering suggests we're about to witness the real thing, not the sanitized version. What's fascinating is how Figgis frames the interactions between Coppola and his star-studded cast. We get glimpses of Adam Driver in what looks like rehearsal footage. The camera work here is handheld, intimate. It's not the typical behind-the-scenes B-roll where everyone's smiling and professional. There's a particularly striking shot where we see what appears to be Shia LaBeouf in conversation with Coppola. The composition places them at equal height in the frame, which might hint at the collaborative or potentially confrontational dynamic that some reports have suggested existed on set. The editing doesn't linger here, but it doesn't need to. The tension feels palpable even in these brief moments. One of the most revealing sequences shows Coppola working with his cinematography team. The framing here is wider, showing the scale of the production, but also how small Coppola looks within his own massive undertaking. There's something almost melancholic about the visual composition. This legendary director, now in his 80s, surrounded by the enormous machinery of modern filmmaking. The editing rhythm in this section is slower, more contemplative. We're not getting rapid-fire montages, but sustained looks at the creative process. The trailer doesn't shy away from showing the sheer scale of Megalopolis. We get sweeping shots of the elaborate sets, and the cinematography here shifts to more traditional, steady camera work. Almost as if Figgis is saying, here's what they were trying to achieve, before cutting back to the handheld intimacy of the human drama. There are brief glimpses of what might be production meetings or discussions, and the sound design becomes crucial here. We're hearing overlapping voices, incomplete conversations. It creates this sense of barely controlled chaos that Coppola mentioned in that opening line. What's particularly intriguing is how the trailer handles the financial aspect. We know this was Coppola's self-financed passion project, costing around $120 million of his own money. The trailer seems to acknowledge this weight without being explicit about it. The editing choices suggest we might get some uncomfortable truths about the film's reception and commercial performance, but the trailer pulls back from revealing too much. Smart move. It maintains the mystery while hinting at the drama. Here's where it gets really interesting. The trailer clearly wants us to make the Hearts of Darkness connection, but it's not just copying that documentary's approach. Where Hearts of Darkness had Eleanor Coppola's intimate family perspective on Francis during Apocalypse Now, MEGADOC seems to offer Mike Figgis' outsider but insider view as a fellow filmmaker. The cinematography reflects this different perspective. From a technical standpoint, the trailer showcases some beautiful cinematography that captures both the grandeur of Megalopolis and the intimacy of documentary filmmaking. Here's what I find most intriguing about what the trailer doesn't show us. We get glimpses of the key players, but the trailer seems deliberately vague about the specific conflicts or challenges that arose during production. We know from industry reports that there were various controversies and difficulties, but this trailer keeps those cards close to its chest. The editing never quite shows us the full context of any single scene or conversation. Everything feels like it's pulled from longer, more revealing sequences. This could mean the full documentary contains much more explosive material, or it could mean Figgis is being respectful of his subjects while still providing insight. The trailer mentions the Venice and Telluride premieres, which positions this as a serious piece of cinema rather than just industry gossip. Those are prestigious festivals, and their inclusion suggests MEGADOC has artistic ambitions beyond just being a making-of curiosity. The September 19th release date, paired with a Megalopolis re-release, is smart marketing but also suggests confidence in the documentary's quality. So does this trailer give us the insight we expect? I think it gives us just enough to be absolutely fascinated while withholding the real revelation. The cinematography and editing suggest Figgis has created something more substantial than a typical behind-the-scenes piece, but the trailer is careful not to spoil the documentary's biggest moments. What I find most compelling is how the trailer presents Coppola not as a Hollywood legend but as a working filmmaker facing very real challenges. That humanization combined with the scale of his ambition creates genuine dramatic tension that no fictional story could match. The comparison to Hearts of Darkness feels earned based on what we're seeing here, but this looks like it will be its own unique beast. If you're as intrigued by the creative process as I am, definitely subscribe for more deep dives into the films behind the films.